You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Sports. We're going to talk about Brittney Griner, and more specifically, the mainstream media, in this case, USA Today, that has decided to come out and tell Americans how they should feel about Brittney Griner's ongoing plight, and you could say plot, ongoing plot narrative over in Russia as she is locked up in Mordovia, in what's supposed to be the harshest penal colony there is in Russia. And Mike Freeman of USA Today is telling you how it is our duty to not forget about Brittney Griner, and also lecture Americans about how she is being treated unfairly because she's a member of the Alphabet Squad. Now, it's crazy how somebody is supposed to get some kind of preferential treatment because of what their sexual preferences are, and or, as we know, elevated as a hero because of what their sexual preferences are. Where I come from, that does not happen. Okay, in fact, it's really none of my damn business what or who you decide to poke or not poke. I don't care, okay? And it doesn't make you a hero if you decide to twiddle-dee-dee with somebody of your same sex. I don't give a shit. Doesn't make you a hero either, okay? I just don't understand how that's got much to do with what's going on with Brittney Griner. Now, they're trying to claim that Brittney Griner is only in the position she is in because she's a member of the LGBTQ elemental P community. And somehow, I just don't feel like Putin really gives a rat's ass about that. I understand their laws over there. Now, might he think she's more valuable because she's a supposed sports star? Look, Putin, the WNBA is not that big, okay? Just letting you know, the ratings are terrible. You might want to consider trading her and Paul Whelan back to the U.S., and we'll give you LeBron James. Now that's a bigger star. Yeah. If you want a basketball player, we'll give you LeBron. Throw in Paul Whelan and Mark Fogel, and I guess we'll reluctantly take back Brittney Griner, or you can keep her. Whatever. We'll take the other two guys, and because they have been there longer than Brittney. And that's been sort of our problem with all of this, is how she has been escalated, we believe, for a lot of these kind of reasons. I think, if anything, her sexual preference, her alphabet status has elevated this in the United States. It has made the Biden administration and more people try to jump through hoops. Combine that with the fact that she was a social justice activist, she's a known Biden supporter, and she's getting preferential treatment, if anything, over here in trying to get her out. Where was all that in trying to get out the Americans that were already there prior to her? And yeah, I think there is resentment among people because of that. Again, sports stars are not heroes. They're not. So let's get to this article. My God. We cannot allow ourselves to forget Brittney Griner as she sits in a Russian penal colony. I'm glad this is just your opinion. Brittney Griner is in a hellhole at IK2 penal colony in Mordovia, located several hundred miles from Moscow. It's not an understatement to say she might be fighting for her life. There are many things to think when it comes to Griner, but one tops the list. We should not, under any circumstances, forget about her or the brutality that she faces. What about the other Americans? And this is my exact point, is that guys like this, USA Today, he's not writing this article about Mark Fogel. He's not writing this article about Paul Whelan. He's writing this article about a basketball player that is a member of the Alphabet Squad. Okay, do you see what I mean about elevation and preferential treatment for her? This article is a prime example of that. There's nothing in here about don't forget the other Americans over there, the ones that have been there longer. Let's worry about just her. Let's write articles just about her. But I fear many of us, indeed, are forgetting about Griner. She's been in Russia for months and is serving a 9-year prison sentence for possession of vape cartridges. An infamously short American attention span is waning when it comes to her case. You can see it. You can feel it. Really? Because her videos are still getting 5 times the amount of views that any other videos on this channel get. Sometimes 10 times. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interest in the saga that is Brittney Griner. She is beginning to fade deeper into our memories. We can't let that happen, especially now. Whew. Oh, boy. It is true, the more notoriety Griner has, the more power Russia possesses. In this sick game of chess, it's playing with her freedom and life. It's also true that we shouldn't leave our people behind, and she's our people in more ways than one. What? If the Russians are the anti-LGBTQ monsters, what can get us to forget Griner, get us to diminish her by stuffing one of the great athletes of our time into a pit and throwing away the key? They keep blurring that line between empathy and indecency. Quote, she's very afraid about being left and forgotten in Russia or just completely used to the point of her detriment, Griner's wife, Cheryl, said in an interview last month with CBS's Gayle King. Can we not say the same about other Americans over there, though? I think that's more of a natural reaction from anybody. Look, Paul Whelan's family had to get vocal about the fact that Brittney Griner was getting more attention than he was, and he was there. He's been there longer. I mean, they just flat come out and said, look, all this stuff's happening with Griner, and they made enough noise, his family did, that Paul Whelan has sort of forced himself into the conversation, rightfully so, because everything was about this basketball player. Come on. At least in America, she is getting preferential treatment because she is a basketball player. And, in my opinion, on the left side of the aisle, I'm just going to keep it real. Politics is playing a role in this here. I don't think it's necessarily playing a role in Russia. I don't. I think she broke Russian law, and we have found out how seriously they take drugs over there and things involving drugs. It's a serious criminal charge, whether we like that or not. It doesn't matter. Of no consequence in the United States how we feel about this charge. I've said that over and over again, because she's saying things to me like my life just don't even matter no more. I feel like my life doesn't matter. Like y'all don't see me. Y'all don't see the need to get me back home, ? And just nothing, ? That was October. And not only have her prison conditions worsened, but her situation has become more distant. Quote, I wish I could say I'm surprised by the lack of sympathy or outright anger directed at Brittney Griner, tweeted longtime sports journalist and author John Feinstein on November the 11th. She committed a minor crime and is in a Russian penal colony. But because she's not white or male or straight, lots of people don't care or are happy. It's sad. I don't know anybody that is outright giddy or happy about Brittney Griner's situation. I don't. Now, I do think you have some people that believe there's a big heaping tablespoon of karma going on here, considering that Brittney Griner disrespected the country while she was still here, and in turn talked about things like oppression and, black people are oppressed in America, was part of the Black Lives Matter movement and all that. That, yeah, she's getting slapped with real life reality right now. Okay? And is that ironic? Of course it is. Of course it is. None of this is to say we should ignore the plight of other prisoners like Paul Whelan. Okay, dude, I have made Paul Whelan a bigger thing in this than your article has. But Griner is a special case. Here we go. He's just admitting Griner is a special case at a scary time in Russia for LGBTQ people. So she should get preferential treatment because she's a lesbian. He's just coming out and saying it. Wow. Your sexual preference should get you preferential treatment in trying to get you out of Russia. I'm going to come out and say it. Horse shit. That's a load of it. LGBTQ community has been under attack for years now, but recently the demonizing of that community has become particularly malignant. It has become so ugly it's led to murder. It's become so ugly that even the United Nations have noticed, and they go on to talk about things involving the United Nations. Griner, in many ways, is sort of a connective force between anti-LGBTQ forces in America and other parts of the world like Russia. As we battle authoritarianism here and abroad, forgetting about Griner strengthens the hand of people who traffic in hate. Griner is at a penal colony not only known for its virulent anti-Americanism, but also the hatred of LGBTQ and black communities. One Russian prison rights advocate said that Griner, being lesbian, American, and black, puts her in particular danger. That hate-filled views start at the top. Russian President Vladimir Putin, as recently as September, railed against the LGBTQ community. And that's where we're going to stop. But, wow, I mean, this article, in many ways, proved my point. Our other American, Paul Whelan, was thrown in as a side note. One little blurb when the entire article is about Brittney Griner. I can't say, I don't believe anybody has, by any stretch of the imagination, forgotten Brittney Griner is over there. But do I believe there should be a faster rush to get her home because she's a basketball player and she's a member of the Alphabet Squad? No. I don't believe that. I mean, get them all out if you can. I feel bad because if Brittney Griner hadn't gotten popped over in Russia, guys like Mark Fogel and Paul Whelan would be rotting over there. And Biden still won't make Mark Fogel wrongfully detained like he did for Brittney Griner. A lot of people would love to know because they got busted for the same exact offense. Isn't that interesting? Who's getting preferential treatment where? That's what a lot of people would like to know. I mean, I don't think anybody is blatantly sitting back and cheering for anything bad to happen to Brittney Griner, no. But there is a certain amount of irony and karma going on here as well. Okay, make no mistake, because of some of the views she put out towards our country. All right? One could say she is being taught a very tough lesson right now. But, my God, they're working their ass off to try to get her home. And it's like, ooh, is Paul Whelan going to get thrown in? And Mark Fogel, nothing. Crickets. It's crazy. But the mainstream media is quick to dog out Americans and tell them how they're supposed to feel about a subject. Man, trust me, We're not worried about what you think, all right? Tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. Longer video, but this dill hole had a lot of crap spewing out of his mouth. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you go over and check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. 25% off USA First. 25% off USA First. Go now.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.